Plaintiff Sharon Savo lives in California and says she's been working as a petitioner for the past 15 years. Sharon claims the defendant hired her to get a petition signed fighting for the legalization of medical marijuana in California. But she was never paid for her services, so she's suing. Defendant John Lee is the chairman of the coalition effort to protect medical marijuana access. And he admits that several volunteers, as well as paid employees, gathered signatures in favor of this cause. While John admits that Sharon worked for the campaign, he refuses to pay her because she turned her signatures in past the deadline.
Let's start with you.
Okay, sir. I live in San Jose, California. I'm a petitioner. I've been a petitioner for about 15 years.
Petitioner, meaning you collect signatures?
Yes, I do, for money. Sorry, I didn't mean.
That's a career.
Yeah. Okay, and I do it on certain issues. This particular issue was on the legalization of marijuana in California, and on
for medical use or
for medical
casual?
Medical use. And it was for keeping open the remaining 2 cannabis shops in downtown San Jose, California, so that they don't get closed down.
How many were operating when you all filed the petition?
My understanding was that there were a couple left.
You don't remember how many in total were operating? How many were operating?
There were over 70 operating at the time.
And then they reduced it by changing the law.
They were attempting to do that. That's correct.
Plaintiff Sharon Savo says she was hired to work as a petitioner for the defendant's coalition to protect medical marijuana access. But after getting nearly 300 signatures, the defendant failed to pay her.
They did it, and then you all were trying to overturn it through referendum.
That's correct.
Yeah.
All right. And as they did in Los Angeles, they had over 200 marijuana dispensaries right after the medical marijuana was approved. And then the city council passed an ordinance in Los Angeles reducing the maximum amount to much lower. I don't know how many.
Over 100 right now, but they're still working through that in Los Angeles.
Yeah, reducing them, putting a cap on them. And some argue that retroactive laws are illegal and unconstitutional. And so this was happening in San Jose. So that was the purpose of your petition, to overturn the ordinance that reduced the number of dispensaries that are already in existence. So you all fighting that? You're saying, let the voters decide. That's what it was about.
Yes, sir.
All right, so that everyone has an understanding of what we're dealing with here. So you were hired by his agency, company, or whomever?
By his agency.
To get petitions? I
was, and to be paid per signature.
How much?
$3 a signature.
Okay. That isn't bad.
No.
When I was doing,
I dropped everything I was doing.
When I was doing it, it was for 50 cents.
Okay.
And I did that for a voter registration drive back in the mid-'80s. I was doing it when I was making my bones in politics, and I like to give thanks to those who helped my career. Larry Lewis and Larry Simmons were my supervisors. They were one from the UAW, which is a powerful political force in Detroit and in Michigan. And secondly, from the mayor's office, Larry Simmons, who was trying to register all the voters as well. And I was hired to do it and receive 50 cents a signature.
Yeah.
So you're getting $3 a signature.
Right.
Maybe I need to go back into that. I mean, you can go back and get that job. Go ahead. So let me hear from the defendant, sir.
Your Honor, if I can clarify that one point. Again, my name is John Lee. I'm chairman of the coalition effort to protect medical marijuana.
What is it called?
Chairman
the
of
coalition.
The San Jose, the Silicon Valley Cannabis Coalition.
Okay.
And
Go ahead.
That coalition was working to protect medical marijuana access in San Jose. I'm also a proponent of statewide legalization and control of marijuana in California.
For medical or just casual?
Both in California. In 2016, we expect to vote on that, that opportunity in California as well. And I have a personal stake in this matter too. I spent over 30 years dealing with pain management issues using pharmaceuticals, and using cannabis products. I'm now 100% pill-free, so I have a personal stake in this as well. In this past...
So the people know that medical marijuana works for many people. Montel Williams got in trouble going through the airport. He had a legal right to use medical marijuana based on his, well, I don't know if it was legal in the state he was in. That may have been the problem, but it was addressing his MS. And you're telling us today that it eliminated your pain. All right, we got a witness to what Montel said. And science also backed up his claim. But go ahead.
Well, thank you, Your Honor.
You testified that it worked.
It did indeed work for many, many people, and that's why I continue to do my work.
With this referendum, tell me the contract that either you or the agency had with her.
I'm actually here with my witness, Dave Hodges, who is the director of the campaign committee, and in that campaign, we did gather hundreds of volunteers and paid signature gatherers.
We're talking about her.
I'm sorry?
We're talking about this lady. Was there an agreement that she would receive $3 per signature, to your knowledge?
The agreement was that you could receive between $1 and $3 based on validity.
Her agreement, sir? You don't know what her agreement was?
Her agreement was
guys?
up to $3 if the signatures were valid.
Plaintiff Sharon Savas says she was hired to work as a petitioner for the Defendants Coalition to protect medical marijuana access. But after getting nearly 300 signatures, the defendant failed to pay her.
Okay, if they're invalid, you still get some money?
You actually got some money.
I need that job for real. So you hold on. You can go through the phone book and just fill out all the names. You can put down 200 million names. And how much you get for false signatures?
$1 potentially.
So you get $200 million.
That's good.
Because you'll accept false signatures. All right, that's a good deal. What you here for? You had all that money.
You're right.
Tell me what happened, ma'am.
So, sir, I worked from June 1st to July 18th for Mr. Lee's group. And I really, really, really love the issue of legalize and of trying to keep these stores open. Anyway, I gathered about 300 signatures hoping to be paid. About 112 were sent in the week of right around July 11th or 12th. And we went to give these to them on the 8th.
Those are the signatures? Let me see them, please.
Yeah. And these signatures were to be delivered and were delivered on the 18th. And we were told that we weren't going to be paid after all the work that we did.
Were you told why?
Because they ran out of money.
Right. And
Your Honor, that's not correct. I'm sorry.
Okay. Let me go to you then.
Thank you. The turn-in date, according to the city regulations, was the 17th. We could not accept any signatures, and we could not turn them into the city any later than that. That was published. That was acknowledged.
Will you have it where it was published?
I do have a... I apologize. I don't have that indicated published here.
I have a statement from my fiance and saying that he knew they were due on the 18th. We had asked Mr. Lee.
Who has evidence of when it was due? I can't believe you all come to court without a official document that says when it was due. The city registrar or the state registrar.
I've got it right here, sir.
There you go. Let me see it,
It says
please.
the 18th.
There you go. Something.
Yeah, sorry, I did have that.
Stop the July 18th medical marijuana, medical cannabis shutdown.
Right.
That's the day of the vote, I would assume.
That was the day after the signatures had to be turned in.
Was it the day of the vote?
The day of, there has not been a vote.
So what is the significance of July 18th?
The city gave us 30 days to gather signatures. That time frame ended on the 17th. On the 18th, the ordinance went into effect.
So that was it. They were shutting down based on the July 18th ordinance enactment. Anything else regarding the 17th? What he says makes perfect sense.
So, sir,
Let's see.
This is a statement from my witness, Daniel Hill, that his signatures were in early and he was not paid.
Because that's your defense, right? That she didn't turn her signatures in time. That's why we're going over this. Otherwise, it's irrelevant. That's your defense?
That's
correct. Is that the reason you didn't pay her? She did not turn them in on the deadline, and the deadline was the 17th. And we have someone else, they say they were hired by you, and they worked together, and whether the signatures were accepted or not, no one was paid. We worked the July 4th and no pay. DMV, no pay. So we have a witness who says they weren't paid either.
Plaintiff Sharon Savas says she was hired to work as a petitioner for the Defendant's Coalition to Protect Medical Marijuana Access. But after getting nearly 300 signatures, the defendant failed to pay her.
What do you have, sir?
A couple other items, too. Actually, in regards to her witness, we did close out the campaign in the last week. A check has been written and forwarded. He may not have received it yet, but this is a copy of the check for his witness.
Was to whom?
I did communicate to Mr. Daniel Hill that he would be paid that amount. He may not have received it yet, but that's the check receipt.
Daniel
That's
Hill.
confirmation. The campaign was closed on
All
the 30th.
right, Daniel Hill is the person who signed this. So you were ready knowing that he was going to write something on you.
Yeah.
In the mail,
Yeah,
too.
he shows up with his check.
And he says he hadn't received it yet. His witness letter is October 8th. Your check is September 30th. What mail takes 9 days?
Right.
Go ahead and.
May I?
What do you? May you what? Go
Talk.
ahead,
So, I'm sorry,
what
sir.
Do you want, what else you want to say, ma'am?
Sir, the only thing that I wanted to say was that this issue in San Jose, California, where it is a tech town, was really, really, really hard to push. I had to go through 10 to 20 people to get one registered voter sometimes.
How's that relevant to the case at hand, whether you got paid or not? Because
Well,
it
'cause
seems like you all are just more interested in talking about medical marijuana than you are in getting your money today. I still need proof of the deadline. And unless you can give me some proof or witness testimony or something, I'm going to have to conclude you owe her, because I have witness testimony and I have your unreasonable explanation of this witness's letter. And that is, it's still in the mail. What do you have?
Sure, and again, regards to the payment, the campaign closed that out on the 30th. Many checks were written on that date. I'm not responsible for mailing
I
them.
know,
so
you told me
apologize.
what happened is in the mail. Now let's see it, sir.
I have one other piece of
Who
evidence,
is
sir.
responsible?
This piece of evidence, sir, is from Barbara, who was a campaign worker and oversaw most of the signature gatherers, and she was also in communication with this group. And you can see by the information that at the last indication.
This is actually hilarious because I remember these flakes. You may not want to know this. They went back to Sacramento and never turned in any signatures.
That's not true.
When I was trying to get all of the outstanding petitions, he told me that Sharon the petition. She said she never received any petitions.
And
you provide me with hundreds of petitions.
Yep.
Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
Thank you,
Everything
sir.
I believe
I
what
love you.
you
Thank
say.
you.
That's my
Thank you.
judgment.
Thank you, Your Honor.
It's unfortunate that it came to this, but we're all under the same desire to try to help people in San Jose and protect medical access. I'm sorry it went this way, and we'll keep moving forward and hopefully all work together to protect medical marijuana access for patients in San Jose and California.
I appreciate being paid on the judgment and on the hard work that we did, and I just appreciate it, and I'm very grateful to be paid on this. It's very, very nice. I'm very happy.
Ever wonder how to go about collecting from a minor who damaged your property or owes you money? If so, ask me, Judge Mathis, at askjudgemathis.com.